Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. In today's video, we will explain you some very basic concepts from chapter number 1, class 10th geography. So, the name of your chapter is Resources and Development. The topics that I am going to cover in this particular video are very less and they are given on the screen. So, I'll be talking about resources. I'll give you an explanation and I will give you a definition for this particular word, and then I will move forward with various types of resources that we have. Okay, so the very first slide here covers the definition of the word resources. Now, what you have to do is you have to look around your room and you have to try and find the resources. After some time, you will realize that anything and everything in your room which you are using is actually a resource. For example, you might be having a roof, you might be having some walls which are made up of bricks. So bricks are resources. Similarly, you must be having a cupboard and that cupboard must be made up of wood. That wood is actually a resource, or timber is actually a resource. Then you might be having a wallet, and in that wallet you might be having some rupee. Rupee is actually a resource. Alright, so all these things are basically our resources. So they are available in our environment and they can be used. So first condition is that they are available in environment or in our surroundings also, and they can be used. They should be useful. And once I use them, my needs must be satisfied. Then, there are 3 technical words attached here. I will tell you about each and every technical word one by one. So, let's see technologically. So, they should be technologically accessible. Now, what does that mean? So, if I know that I have this particular resource available, I should have the available technology also to extract it. Okay? For example, we had wood, okay, but maybe we didn't know that how can I convert this wood into ply, or maybe how I can convert this wood into polish if I didn't know that, or maybe, we didn't know that how I can convert wood into an even base to create furniture or to create doors, right? So if I didn't know that, then this wood must have been useless for me if I didn't know that technique. So technique is very important. So we need to have that technique. Okay. Then it should be economically feasible. Now suppose if I'm giving you that technique, if I'm telling you that how you can create an even base on your wood, if I'm telling you that, but I'm telling you that this technique will cost some, 5 crores. So such a technique is actually economically not feasible. It's not economical, as in it won't be in our budget. Not everyone would be able to afford it, right? So resources are supposed to be affordable. Now, they should be culturally acceptable, that they should be accepted in the culture. So all of these 3 conditions are supposed to be fulfilled if I want to call something a resource. Now, so a very important topic is types of resources that we have in this particular chapter. Just one very basic thing, that there are a lot of resources. Almost everything that we see is actually a resource. So I can't just divide it on the basis of 2 headers and tell you, okay, this is type A and this is type B. I can't really do that. I need to introduce more and more headers. Okay. So what I will do is I will talk about origin. I will try to divide my resources on the basis of their origin. Now what does that mean? On the basis of origin means that their composition. अगर मैं बिल्कुल सिंपल शब्दों में बोलूं तो उसका मतलब ये है कि वो कैसे बने हैं. Are they biotic, as in are they from biosphere? Are they living? Can they do biological activities like, animals, insects, mosquitoes, or plants? All these resources are biotic resources as they are living, or they can do one or the other biological activity. Then I have abiotic. So abiotic are all those resources which are almost non-living. Okay, for example, soil, water, air. These things are very important for our sustenance, but at the end of the day, they cannot breathe. They cannot do any other biological activity. Okay. Then I will take another header number 2, which is exhaustibility. So I will tell you that whether my resource will get exhausted over a period of time, or it will not get exhausted. Okay. For example, renewable resources. So these resources can be replenished, or they can be reproduced after a period of time. You give them some time, they will reproduce on their own, or they are found in abundance. For example, water, solar energy, or wind energy. All these resources are capable of renewing themselves, so we don't have to worry about their stock. But on the other hand, non-renewable resources are those resources which will get exhausted. After a period of time. Why? Because their production takes a lot of time. Their production will take a lot of time, but their consumption happens almost in seconds. For example, I can consume 1 liter of petrol in like maybe 10 minutes, right? But production of that 1 liter of petrol will take a lot of years, several geographical years. So we call it almost non-renewable. Now you will say that, petrol gets renewed maybe after 500 million years, but it will get renewed. No, those are geographical years, and we are humans. For us, it is almost non-renewable, right? Now, next comes ownership. So, आप लोगों ने origin और exhaustibility 8th क्लास में भी करा होगा, आपने पहले सुने होंगे. जो ये बाकी के 2 headers हैं, ownership and development, ये दोनों headers new हैं. Both these headers are new. So, I would want you guys to focus a little more. So, now I have ownership resources. On the basis of ownership, I can divide my resources as individual resources. For example, we have a house, that is our resource, that is our own house, private property. Maybe you have utensils in your house, so they are your family utensils. So all such resources are individual resources. Then I have a community resource. As the name suggests, these are all those resources which are owned by a community. एक कम्युनिटी इनको ओन करती है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, आप कहीं पे रहते हो, यू लिव इन अ सोसाइटी एंड दैट सोसाइटी हैज अ पूल. ओके, नाउ दैट पूल इज नॉट अ प्राइवेट प्रॉपर्टी. Not one single person will say, okay, this is my pool for today and nobody else can enter. That is not allowed. As long as you are part of that community or part of that society, you can avail the facility of that pool. So that is a community resource. Then I have national resource. These resources basically fall under our government. Our government is responsible for their maintenance, for their sustenance. Government is completely responsible for that. Then I have international resources. So once we cover individual resources, then we cover community resources, and then we cover national resources. So now whatever is left that falls under our international resource, which is neither covered in individual resource, community resource, national resource, that falls in international resource. Then I have the header of development. I'll try to differentiate my resources on the basis of these 4 headers. So I have potential resource. Okay. So potential resources are basically all those resources which have the potential to act as resource, but their technical know-how is not yet available. Okay, as I told you initially that it's very important that if I'm saying, okay, this particular thing will act as a resource, I'm supposed to have a technology available for that. But in the case of potential, they have the potential. Potential का मतलब होता है कि उनके पास पार है, कैपेबिलिटी है, बट हमारे पास ये टेक्नोलॉजी नहीं है कि उसको कैसे यूज करें. तो ये सारी रिसोर्सेज कौन सी होती हैं? पोटेंशियल रिसोर्सेज. फिर आती है डेवलप्ड रिसोर्सेज. डेवलप्ड रिसोर्सेज वो सारी रिसोर्सेज हैं जो हम हर जगह देखते हैं, जैसे वुड इज अ डेवलप्ड रिसोर्स. हम लोगों को पता है उसको कैसे यूज करना है. या फिर जो भी आपकी वेजिटेबल्स हैं, all these vegetables are developed resource. We know how we are supposed to use them. They exist in nature. We know how we are supposed to use them. Then comes stock. Stock वो सारी resources हैं जो available हैं, but हम लोग उनको किसी ना किसी reason की वजह से use अभी नहीं कर पा रहे हैं और future में कभी use करेंगे. Then we have reserve. अब यार आप reserve word कब use करते हो? When do you use the word reserve? आप लोग कब use करते हो? जब आप saving करते हो, है ना? Similarly, countries they also save their resources for later use. तो reserve की definition क्या है? That we are saving our resources and what is the aim? The aim is future use. वो सारी resources को हम लोग क्या बोलते हैं? We call them reserves.